Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Almost 30 podcast. It's your girl, Linz. I am so excited to welcome you to another solo episode with me and Krista that is upcoming. I wanted to set the tone for you all, but thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing to Almost 30. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, it means the world to us. We are going on our 8th year here. We just love you. Our OGs, our new listeners, thank you for your listenership. In today's episode, we just wanted to share something really powerful that we have been experiencing lately, and it revolves around our manifestation practices. I feel like when we started the podcast, manifestation was a buzzword. It kind of still is, but what are we really doing on a daily basis to manifest the life we want, who we want in our lives? What do we want to be doing? Where do we want to be? And so we just wanted to update you on our practices. We had Mimi Bouchard on the podcast not too long ago. She's the founder of Superhuman. It's an incredible app where they feature over 600 activations. These are unique sound experiences that have honestly been so powerful for us. I can't emphasize that enough. We've been listening to activations nonstop. We generally start our day with them, end our day with them. Krista, I know, listens to them almost all day. She's in her car in LA a lot, and she'll put on activations. And in doing them, we've really pinpointed some areas in our life that we wanted to improve. So in this episode today, we are going to share the specific areas of our own lives that we have improved using these activations. And we also share some other manifestation practices that we've been doing. And as you'll hear in this episode, we decided to embark on this 21-day challenge where we are activating every single day for 3 weeks. And we share the before and after, and it is so profound at a very high level. I think before, for me, I was just incredibly overwhelmed with my goals and just not feeling like I could wrap my head, heart, soul around them. And these activations have just gotten me into a state of being that has allowed me to receive the visions and actually take action on them. And I'm just blown away. There's a part of me that didn't think I could manifest some of the things I've manifested recently. And in this episode today, I'm going to share what those things are. And I'm just really proud. And doing these activations consistently has been a huge part of that. You can access Superhuman by going to activations.com/A30. And we want you to try this challenge with us every day for 3 weeks. It is going to change your life. In this episode, we also share some of our favorite activations, when we use them, how we use them. So it really serves as a guide as well. Also in this episode, we talk about the power of writing down our visions and our dreams and why that is so, so important in your process of manifestation. We also talk about the profound effect of music in manifesting and visualizing our dream life and why cognitively and scientifically this is true. Superhuman has some incredible music that it's backed by science, how it supports these visualizations and really changing your brain, creating new pathways of believing what's possible. We also talk about evoking emotion when we visualize. I think oftentimes we just think of seeing the vision and we don't necessarily connect it to an emotion. So we talk a lot about that because especially when I was single and I was dating, this I feel like was the number one thing I did to call in my partner. So I go into that in detail. So if you want to get started on this 21-day challenge, you can do so right now at activations.com/A30. You get 14 days free and 60% off. This is not offered anywhere else. So I would take advantage now, 14 days free. So go to activations.com/A30. Okay, enjoy this episode with me and Krista, and let us know how you're doing with your 21-day challenge on the Superhuman app, activating every single day for 3 weeks. Okay, this is something that I take every day. It has helped with my hair, skin, and nails. They are stronger, they are more vibrant, they're just healthy. It has also helped me to stay well. I have not been sick in quite some time, so my immunity is tip top shape. And I've also just noticed like my gut health is the best it's been. No bloating, I'm regular. Yeah, I just feel really, really great. And it's Armra colostrum. You might have seen your favorite health influencers out there talk about it. It's true. We freaking love it. It's a proprietary concentrate of bovine colostrum, and it is the overflow. So the calf gets all they need. This is the overflow that harnesses over 400 living bioactive nutrients that strengthen the barriers of your body and fuel cellular health for thousands of research-backed health benefits. So it's going to strengthen immunity, ignite your metabolism, fortify your gut health, activate hair growth and skin radiance. This is great for fitness, performance, and recovery. It's anti-aging. Like, I am obsessed. I'll mix it in water or I'll just toss the powder in my mouth. It kind of tastes like a milk dud. It's really easy to incorporate. So we've worked out a special offer for our audience. You can receive 15% off your first order when you go to tryarmra.com/almost30. That's TRYARMRA.com/almost30, or enter the code almost30 to get 15% off your first order. Tryarmra.com/almost30, TRYARMRA.com/almost30. I had a friend the other day say to me like, "Oh my God, I cannot take pills, like supplements in pill form. It's so hard for me. I don't like taking them. Like, do you have any recommendations?" And I was like, actually, I do. My favorite supplement brand, Symbiotica, is just doing it right. They have liposomal delivery for most of their supplements. It's a liquid delivery. The body loves it. It's super bioavailable. It absorbs it well, and they taste great. This morning, I took my vitamin C, which is like this yummy orangey citrus flavor. It also has biotin in it, which is like nature's beauty vitamin. And I've just noticed a difference in my skin. It's more radiant and it's great for immunity. I also take the magnesium L-threonate. This supports memory and learning. What's cool is that this form crosses the blood-brain barrier. So it's really powerful. It increases your focus, improves memory, balances your mood, calms your nervous system. It's really delicious. Delicious. It has this vanilla cream flavor. Sometimes I'll like put it on my yogurt. Does the same thing. Enjoy it. Symbiotica has incredible products. Go check them out. I'll stop talking. You could save 20% off site-wide with our code almost30 when you go to symbiotica.com/almost30. That's CYMBIOTIKA.com/almost30, and use the code almost30 for 20% off site-wide. Enjoy it.
Welcome to Almost 30 Podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Lindsey and Krista. We're happy you're here.
We're so glad you're here. Two gals over 30 now. We started almost 30 when we were transitioning from our 20s to our 30s. It was a crazy time. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know who we were, where we were going with our life, but we knew we wanted to become the people that we knew we were meant to be. We wanted to live a life of purpose. And we wanted to really hone in on our spiritual path. And so Almost 30 was really shared out of the conversations we were having on our closet floors. We were trying to figure out life. And then we started to bring on amazing guests and speakers and people that really helped Almost 30 become what it is. Something that we also do is our solo episodes, where Lindsey and I, as best friends living on opposite coasts, dive into things that we're interested in and that we're exploring right now.
Yeah. I was just thinking about when we started Almost 30, kind of where we were on our like self-development path. I actually don't even know if I knew what self-development was.
I just knew how to hate myself. I was like, I know I hate myself. Now what?
I'm like, yeah, I'm actually curious what jargon I knew and what jargon I didn't in terms of the self-development space. But, you know, how some aspects of that work happened so quickly. Some aspects took a long time. And it's like, you know, when you're in it, you want the other side. So you want the other side so soon. You're like, I need to feel better now. Like, can I get the thing now, the abundance now, the relationship now? And so often it is a process. And if you would have told us that certain aspects of almost 30, success, et cetera, would have taken as long or would be the complicated process that it has been, I don't know if we would have said, I'm in, let's do this. But I think one of the most powerful tools that we've both utilized throughout the years has been visualization. I remember we would very early on, whether it was before events or before we would go on tour, and we would just envision, what it would be like, who would be there, who we would be serving, how they would be feeling, how we felt, what the impact would be. And I just feel like so many times I remember feeling like, wow, I'm stepping into the vision that we had set. It's kind of a crazy, powerful thing that's so simple and free. And
yeah, it's huge. I think for me, it was like listening to the podcast was the first thing that got me into personal growth and self-development when I used to listen on the subway. And then it was finding tools like visualization is like a huge thing. And I remember when I first heard about visualization, I was like, how does it work? And I think what shows me how far I've come is thinking about at that time, I actually didn't have a vision. Like to visualize, you have to get to the point where you have a vision.
Yeah.
And I was probably visualizing other people's lives. I was visualizing other people's dreams. And so there really is like a cultivation or a sculpting of your preferences and of your dream life when you're actually figuring out what to visualize. I think for us, it was so helpful because we had like the seeds and we had like a nugget of what we were doing, especially with going on tour and, the retreats and everything like that. So when you have like something close in front of you, you can be like, okay, let's visualize the best situation, like starting there. But I think the visualization and guided imagery is so huge. And from a science perspective, it's also, been proven. So visualization involves creating really detailed mental images of desired outcomes, which really strengthen neural pathways associated with positive experiences. So you have these neural pathways in your brain. Most of them are associated with negative experiences. This is why we have a negativity bias. Nicole, the neuroscientist who came on to talk about her book Rewired, talked a lot about how we have the negativity bias. So in order to create more positive experiences in our lives, we have to choose those more positive neural pathways. And this technique is often used by sports and psychology to enhance performance and personal growth. So oftentimes you hear about athletes visualizing winning the Super Bowl, visualizing, slam dunking, visualizing them, practicing or doing the swing, all of these things. So it's been used for a really long time. And by repeatedly visualizing successful outcomes, people can reprogram their minds to increase their likelihood of achieving similar results in real life. So this process really helps in developing new neural connections, making the desired outcomes feel more attainable and real.
Yeah, it's incredibly powerful. And I feel like when I first started doing it, and maybe some of you out there felt this too, where you feel like you're doing it wrong. Am I doing this right? Like, is this the most powerful way to do this? How are other people doing this?
Yes.
And how are they manifesting the things in their life? And yeah, it was my own process to kind of get out of my own way and out of my own head and comparing myself around that. So just saying that off the bat, that, whether you have a guided visualization, which I prefer, it's really, really powerful, or just self-guided, that it's correct. I think it's really about intention and being able to kind of call in your own energy and be within your own energetic field rather than kind of tapping into other people's visions.
Yeah, I think for both of us, one of the things within visualization, there's also this concept of future self visualization. I think future self visualization is huge. It's really for identity transformation and achievement. So it involves imagining yourself achieving these future goals, which can shift your identity and perception. So in your life, whenever you have a goal, whether it's like to do a Netflix comedy special or whether it's to create, a show or whether it's to give a really good presentation at work, or, whatever it is that you want to do, actually visualizing yourself as that person in your mind's eye not only strengthens those neural pathways, but it helps transform your identity. So Tony Robbins talks a lot about this, that oftentimes it's our identity that's the biggest issue when we're stepping into success, because we don't identify as a successful person or as a loving person or as a creative person or whatever the things are. So when we can actually step into and create that identity of that person, it becomes so much easier to become that because we've identified as that. So the method of the future self can really rewire the brain to adopt also new habits and beliefs that facilitate personal growth and success. So when you think about the future self version, what would she have for breakfast? What is she doing on the weekend? Like, what is she eating? What is she drinking? Like, how is she living? And then by really tuning into that, whether it's psychically or whether this is like some type of magic, or it's just thinking about what it is that future self version would do, you're able to do more of those things that are eventually going to lead you closer to that version.
Yeah. I've done the future self visualization in written form, which has been really powerful. So I think if you're someone that just takes to writing things down, I think it just kind of concretizes, let's say concrete, makes it really concrete. And also to see yourself, write it down, and then I think more powerfully to read it back and read it out loud.
Yes.
Almost hearing the narration of your future life can be super emotional, because oftentimes it's something that absolutely lives within you and is in the realm of possibility. And so for me, anytime I've done that and I read it out loud, I'm usually brought to tears, because I know it's almost as if it's coming. And it's this like aligning and the dropping of the stories that tell me I can't, and the aligning of my soul and me in this moment, where we're like, oh yes, that's always been something that I've either desired or that is meant for me. And it is coming. And there have been layers and layers of stories and experiences that maybe have told me I'm not going to get it, but none of those actually have any validity.
Yeah.
So I think writing it down can be really powerful.
I love that, writing it down. And then I have mine on audio. So I say my whole future life and like a 5-minute audio of what I see, who's with me, what am I doing, like in full detail, describing everything. And it's really beautiful to hear your voice and kind of replay that.
Yes.
And it supports in the visualization too, where I'll kind of not only reprogram my subconscious with that, but I can also visualize it easier when I'm hearing it said. And it's funny because when I listen to it back, I can hear where I don't believe, and I can hear in the parts where I know it's happening.
Yeah.
I'll even shift tenses where I'll be like, this is going to happen. Or I'll be like, I am. Like I heard myself say I am a lot. And then I heard myself say like different phrases that were like future tense.
I will be.
Yes, I will be. And so that was really helpful. And then I kept noticing too, I would sniffle when I thought it wasn't possible. So I was like, oh yeah, well, I'm doing this. And so just noticing little tics that you have too that are also very telling, which is interesting. Another thing that really supports, in the reprogramming and supporting yourself in manifestation and creating new neural pathways is binaural beats. So binaural beats are these really powerful auditory illusions created by playing slightly different frequencies in each ear, which the brain then perceives as a third frequency. So there's a lot of research that demonstrates that binaural beats can synchronize brainwave activity, also known as neural entrainment. So this synchronization can provide states of relaxation, meditation, and even creativity. And there's a lot of studies that indicate that binaural beats can alter electrical wave frequencies in the brain, enhancing relaxation and potentially improving cognitive functions. So the use of these binaural beats has been associated with brain function, reduced stress, sleep, and really, really helps mental states and creating new neural pathways. So binaural beats are so cool.
They're my favorite. And I think music not all music, let me say that, but I think your preferred music, like I've in the past have put on music, gospel music, inspiring music that have just put me in a different state. If I'm desiring to kind of be more in my heart, I'll put on music that just kind of feels mushy gushy, ooey gooey, or more closer to God. And so, yeah, music for me transports me a little bit. So it's transporting me not to another realm, but more so just kind of out of my head. And if I can, and I'm someone who used to be an actress, and so sometimes creating a little movie of my life, like through music, is really, really helpful.
Love that.
To kind of get me in that future state.
Who's that author that wrote a bunch of books? Starts with a James something. He's super big. Jonathan Campbell. He has actually creating with imagery and sound a mental movie of your life. And watching that over and over again. He's like a really beautiful Jonathan. I'll have to look it up and put it in the show notes. But yeah, it's like taking images like of even like a vacation. So like taking images of Fiji. It's almost like taking your Pinterest board, putting your Pinterest board with music in the background, and then like entraining to that environment or that visualization and making your own movie. I've had friends do that before too.
That's powerful.
Yeah, I think the binaural beats is huge. You know, frequency and sound is so incredibly powerful and can change your mood. It can change any state. And to be able to put your brain waves into like a specific state for healing and cognitive function is huge. So for both of us, both Lindsey and I, when we were thinking, we're like, okay, we want to use visualization. We want to do binaural beats. We want to have future self involved. Like, how can we challenge ourselves to see what we can do? Like, see what magic we can create, see what sort of miracles can happen. And I haven't done challenges in so long. I kind of went through a phase in my life where I had years of like everything was like a challenge of numbers of things. And then I was like, no, I'm not doing any of that. No one's going to tell me what to do. And now I'm back and I've wanted to explore and experiment with actually using the 21-day cycle of what it takes to create a habit, what it takes to create those new neural pathways. And challenge some of the beliefs that I've had. So what we did for this was we used Superhuman. So Superhuman is just incredible. It is an audio visualization app, which can change your neural pathways and help you manifest a life that you love. I use it almost every single day. I love it. It's so easy to use. You can use it in 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes. Sometimes I have it playing at night. But it, for me, was like the perfect combination of binaural beats, of affirmations, of future self visualizations, of journal prompts, of all these things I would kind of find all over the place. It's like in one space.
Yes.
I remember for so long I used to go on YouTube and find Louise Hay affirmations, where it would be a robot saying Louise Hay affirmations. It would be like, I am a magnet for money. Money loves me. And I would just play it at my house. And now I'm like, okay, it's clean. It's in this one app. It's so easy to use. So we've been using it for, a long time. It's so good. And it really is just so supportive in creating those new neural pathways.
Yeah. And I think sometimes I get in my own head with any sort of challenge or having or needing to do something for X amount of time, 21 days, because I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be consistent? What does it mean if I'm not consistent? But what I love about the Superhuman app is it's not daunting. I don't know about you. Like I've had some apps in the past and some resources where I'm like, this is organized in just a crazy way. It's too much stuff. And I love the Superhuman app because I go in and I'm fed the pep talk or the visualization or the walking activation that I'm craving for that day. I don't know how they do it, but it's pretty incredible. And I am a new mom, so I don't have like the time that I used to. I was laughing the other day because I'm like, yo, my morning routine was on fleek before becoming a mom. Friggin' 2 hours. And now I have limited time, but you can absolutely fit this in. So I'll be Mav has his like, independent playtime in the morning where he's kind of doing his thing, and I'll put on a pep talk or an activation while I'm cooking his breakfast. And it's the perfect way to start the day, the perfect way that I didn't know I needed. It's almost like this transportation into oftentimes like this cinematic experience where I'm being spoken into by, it feels like a friend because I love the voice on the app. And I've just noticed such a change in, it's like a trickle down effect, a change in my mood, change in the decisions that I'm making throughout the day, the small choices, the bigger choices, how I'm mothering. It's been profound.
Yeah. So activations are what is featured on Superhuman. So basically each of their offerings are called activations, which are really cool. And this app is really meant for people that want to transform their lives and become the best version of themselves. So it's more future thinking. It's more forward thinking. I think for meditation, which is something that I do every single day as well, that's more like being in the present moment. But I think it's really powerful that we can go present with meditation, future with Superhuman. And then therapy is what I use for the past. Therapy, we're excavating the past. So it's like having that full scope of creating the life you love in that way. And activations are meant to be super easy. They're meant to be something that are inspiring, that sort of support you. The other morning I was with friends and we were getting ready for the day, and I just put on the Lucky Girl affirmations. And it's like this whole like Lucky Girl 20-minute one that's like, I am a lucky person. Everyone knows I'm so lucky. And all my friends, we were just like grooving on feeling lucky, of like what that feels like to feel lucky. How does it feel in your body? Like the desire to feel lucky. So using Superhuman for this 21-day challenge just made so much sense because it puts everything in one place. The binaural beats, the future self visualizations, the activations, a lot of them involve walking. That can also support you in creating that life you love because you're actually walking towards the future. And there's a lot of studies that show that these practices like visualization, binaural beats, and visualizing your future self can support new neural pathway creation or formidification, if that's a word, of the positive neural pathways that you've already created, which can promote changes in your brain function and consciousness, which is really, really powerful. So our goals for this, of our 21 days, the things that we wanted to reprogram, I wanted to really focus on abundance. I have been in my work flow era ever since, my relationship ended. I took some time off kind of. I was just a little more felt lost. And in the past year, I've really, really just gotten clear about who I am and how I'm here to serve. I'm so grateful that I have such clarity on how I serve. And now with that happening, I'm able to really just hopefully make more money, hopefully make more impact. So I really wanted to focus on my abundance, like having more opportunities, having more miracles, having more aligned action, and really feeling like I had more money coming in. So that was like my focus through the 21 days, was to reprogram the belief that I can't make money doing what I love. There's also the belief that I have to work really hard for money. There's also the belief that money is for other people and not me. And then there's also the belief that it's always coming, but it's not now. So during my 21-day challenge with the Superhuman app, I was really focused on my abundance.
Such a good one. I think a lot of people relate to those stories and that programming. Yes. For me, I was really focused on confidence in creating new. So I'm working on New Mom on the Block, and anytime you create something new, it could be a child, it could be a brand, it could be anything in between, it just brings up your stuff. It brings up, am I good enough to do this? Can I do this on my own? Am I experienced enough? Does that even matter? Will people care? Will people listen or engage? Just all of those stories and the fears have been coming up. And this challenge has been really profound in allowing me to feel into what's really true, about why and how this idea came to me and how it wants to move through me. There have been a few activations in particular I'll share that I'm playing on repeat that have been so helpful in like clearing doubt and really getting me into a creative state that feels like me. Doesn't feel like anyone else's ideas of how this should be or whatever. It's like being in my own creative state.
Which is so huge.
I have something that I've been using lately that I feel like is from the future, but it is here. It is here in the now. It is so simple, but so cool. It is called Lumen, Lumen, and it is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. So this device, basically, it's like the size of the palm of your hand. It measures your metabolism through your breath. That's it. All you have to do is breathe into it. And then on the app, the Lumen app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workout, sleep, and even stress management that day. unbelievable. We are in the future. So again, every single morning, I just breathe into the lumen and I know what's going on with my metabolism. I love the personalized nutrition plan for the day. This is so helpful for me as a new mom. I really need this guidance. I'll also breathe into it before workouts and meals just because I'm very curious. I'm kind of into this kind of stuff, but really you only need to do it once a day. But the app is so thorough. This really helps me to stay on track and like kind of reference it as I go throughout my day as a great reminder, especially the stress management piece. I didn't know how that was affecting my metabolism, and it's pretty wild, as well as the sleep that I'm not getting right now because I'm a new mom. But why is metabolism important? This is your body's engine. It's how your body turns food you eat into fuel that keeps you going. It is at the center of everything your body does. Optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, and more. So this is really important. So again, this device is so easy to use. It is small. It is just a great and easy way to tune into your metabolic health, and you can incorporate it easily into your everyday. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/almost30. That's lumen.me/almost30 to get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me, lumen.me/almost30 for 15% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode.
It's so huge. It's interesting too when I think about the beliefs that I wanted to focus on. And it's almost like, sometimes what I think when people think about all the limiting beliefs that we have and all the subconscious things that hold us back, we forget about all the things that we're not looking at too. So what I mean is I want more abundance. I want more money. I want more opportunity. But then there's a whole range of things that I actually feel good about. And I think we focus so much on the bad that it's like we forget about all the things that are actually really good. Mm-hmm. So also seeing this list of your limiting beliefs or the things that you are working on as like a beautiful thing, because I feel really good about friendships. I feel really good about, my health. I feel really good about my career, like my trajectory for my life. Mm-hmm. I feel really good about my romantic relationship vibe right now. And so it's like not just focusing on the bad all the time to support you. And that I think is really, really huge. And also, what is it when I think about abundance and money, also I get curious about what does that mean for me and will it ever be enough? Mm-hmm. Where does that come from, et cetera. But these are beliefs, no matter what I'm saying, that I do want to work with. And Superhuman is just like absolutely perfect for that because it really helps you harness the power of your visualization and having the auditory experience of the music going on to enhance your mental health, really rewrite those subconscious reprograms that are really reprogram your subconscious in a way that's going to support you. So every single day for 21 days, I did multiple Superhumans. That's what's nice is you can habit stack with Superhuman. So I would start the morning with the Lucky Girl affirmations, which is 20 minutes. I would have that playing when I brushed my teeth, when I was like feeding the cats, when I was like making my elixir and doing those things. And it would just play in the background, like perfectly play in the background. And then I would do the golden energy manifestation. It's a 10-minute meditation. And that one is so helpful for shifting my energy. Like, there'll be moments where I just feel overwhelmed or I feel, stuck. And having that 10 minutes where it's this visualization of this beautiful golden creator light moving in just was so helpful. So I would start with that in the morning. And then at night, on some nights, not every night, I would do the subconscious reprogramming, like waves affirmation. So basically at night for like 8 hours, it's playing like wave sounds, almost like a, what's that, white noise. And then it would be basically doing affirmations in your sleep. So with that one, I really loved the attract miracles into your life, sleep affirmations, which was all about success and attracting miracles. Love so then that. When I had my brain in like a really relaxed brainwave state, it could really rewrite those stories.
It's like when you sleep on your textbook and you study.
Yes, exactly. It's osmosis into your skull.
No, that's powerful. I have been, so I mentioned just really desiring that like creative flow state. So they have this vibey creativity boost, and it's affirmations. And I love the way it flows because they give you pauses in between the affirmations to do with it what you will. And there's beautiful music just scoring the affirmations. And so what I was called to do was actually take the affirmation as like a prompt, and on the in between, I would either just reflect on it,
Love
or
it.
I would write down anything that was coming up around that affirmation, whether it's like anything I wanted to let go, any fear, any story, or even anything I wanted to like doubly affirm, or any specificity I wanted to give that affirmation. And it was just so helpful to flow into what I had as like marked as like my creative flow for the day. I had like 3 hours. And so I would begin that time with this activation. And I just felt like it set the perfect tone. It like opened me up. It felt like the ideas that had been wanting to come through, that had been kind of like orbiting, finally had like the place to land. So I've been doing that one a lot. It's been great. One of the affirmations is I am open to new ideas and perspectives. So simple, but I think sometimes we can be so like myopic in what we like think the thing needs to be. And so if you just open yourself up to the new, I think so much more can flow through. I also do flow through waves of overwhelm. That activation has been really helpful just in motherhood. You know, I think like, so many things can be overwhelming. The juggling, the exhaustion, the am I doing this right? The, you know, fostering your connection with your partner, the family dynamics, the social media. I mean, the list goes on. It's a lot. So I've just found this to be so perfect for harnessing like my entire state. So it's my emotional body, my physical body, and my mind. It's really comforting. I feel like less alone when I listen to it. So I highly recommend that one. If you're just feeling overwhelmed, you want to come back to yourself and your center. This is the perfect one.
Yeah, I also loved the feel wealthy and abundant one. So I would play that anytime through the day. Like I was on my flight the other day and I put it on just because it's really good. Because I think when we identify our limiting beliefs, and I think people are really good at identifying them or the things that are holding us back. It's first becoming conscious of these beliefs and then really identifying them. And I think a lot of our community is at that place. It's like, then what do you do? And I think Superhuman's so helpful for really actually working through that, you know, from an active level, from like a conscious level, and really feeling into your future. So after the 21 days, so I had the attention to have more abundance, to have more miracles. I wanted to feel like I had more opportunity. It was really cool because there was some like really quick manifestations that I was so grateful for. You know, I asked God, I was like, I'd love to work with men in my one-on-one coaching work. And I have a male client now that I work with, which I'm really excited about, which definitely, you know, is inspiring me to take different types of training as well. But that happened so quickly. It just happened really easily. And I had this other opportunity too, where I was speaking at this conference, and at that conference, they booked me for another one of their conferences. So it was just like, things were just really flowing in a way that felt really good and natural. It didn't feel like I was pulling. It didn't feel like I was reaching. Felt like things were just kind of coming, which felt really good. Cause I've had that at periods in time in my life, but it really felt like this supported that feeling of that abundance, that feeling of that ease, that feeling of that miracles, you know, like where you have miracle opportunities or you have these things happen. And even with metamorphosis kind of happened at the tail end of this, but recognizing that with metamorphosis, it was truly like such a dream course to do. Like it was just my dharma. Like a lot of my impact will be made through that program, and just recognizing how easy it was, how valuable it was for everybody, how like impactful it was. And that's how it's supposed to feel. And I know it's kind of, for me, it's sometimes when I feel how easy it's supposed to feel, it's frustrating to me because then I know all the things that don't feel that easy and all the things I need to leave in my life. But it did feel like this cleared a lot of the clutter and really helped me to like see things more clearly as really beautiful manifestations that came from the challenge.
Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
More to come. Yeah. And for me, so it was twofold. So on the creativity end, I just felt like I was able through these activations to get in touch with my own creativity, like not the creativity of others, not the templates out there, not the trends, etc. And what I realized was I am actually meant to lead with my creativity and not worry so much about the audience, actually. So I think with some projects that I've done, it's like, okay, well, what does the audience want? Like, let me talk to them. What do they want? And I realized like it's so much about trusting what's coming through me and not worrying so much about, is this what everyone wants? And so in doing that, I got all of this inspiration around the New Mom on the Block YouTube and was able to script and shoot like 8 in 2 days.
Wow.
Which was big for me because
that's huge.
It's like the momentum of that was like, it was fueled by the alignment. And that felt really, really good. And everything flowed. I had kind of the production side waiting. I was able to shoot it really easily. Like there was just no friction internally or externally. So that felt really good. And then the second part of that was just doing the flow through the waves of overwhelm. I was able to have just a really beautiful conversation with Sean around like aspects of my new life that are feeling so overwhelming.
Right.
And yeah, it was just something that I didn't know. I didn't know we needed to have that conversation, but I think this really kind of facilitated those feelings becoming more clear into the surface. And it's just in the wake of that, I feel better. I feel so supported and less overwhelmed. And also when the overwhelm comes, I'm not overtaken by it. I know it's going to pass and I know that, I kind of identify that feeling and know that feeling a bit more.
Yeah, I love that. I think, with the conversation with Sean too, it's like speaks to how in the app, what they encourage is you to engage your emotions while visualizing your goals. And there's a lot of work around this, with Joe Dispenza and just really powerful research on this. But this combination of you using your emotions and invoking your emotions that you do on the Superhuman app a lot of times with the activations and having the visual simulation that you're doing in your mind can really create even stronger neural connections. So this is where it really can supercharge what you're doing, not just visualizing and being in that space, but actually feeling the feeling. So training your brain and your body to meet that future state, which is really, really huge. So with the Lucky Girl affirmations one, I would visualize like an opportunity come in. Like I would really think about these things before bed. With the ones that I do before bed, I would kind of cut off from that. But also the feeling wealthy and abundant ones, just really feeling like, what does that feel like to me? Like, how can I identify that feeling? What does it felt like when I was just completely taken care of and like money was just like so abundant and I felt really, really good? How can I tune into that emotion? So really engaging emotions during visualization, which is what you do on a lot of the Superhuman activations, can amplify the effectiveness of the practice. So that's really how you take it to the next level. And these emotions like joy and gratitude and excitement can enhance neural encoding, making the visualizations more impactful and even more memorable, which is beautiful. And when you're also visualizing the future self and feeling it, that's when you can really have the identity shift. So when I've really been in my best exalted version of me, whether it's doing retreats or speaking or whatever, it's like I feel a sense of feeling in my body. So it's not just about the mind, but it's also really important that when people are writing these new neural pathways or when they're in these new experiences in their mind, to incorporate the body as well. And I love that Superhuman does that.
Oh yeah. I would visualize, I've said this before, but a practice I would have when I was dating was like really feeling into what it would be like to be with my person, to wake up next to them. And I would do it in my bed.
Yeah.
And I would just have a full emotional experience in my bed. But it was just powerful how all of a sudden you're like in that experience and you're able to kind of identify and have a moment of, like I prayed for this, I visualized this, like I felt into this way before it actually came.
Yeah, that's huge. I did that for a long time and I felt him and then he went away and I don't know where he is.
Where are you?
He's since left me. I felt him for literally an entire year and then since he's disappeared. So
all good.
It's all good. I was good anyways. We were all good. So before this challenge, I felt a little less empowered, a little less clear, a little less confident, a little less trusting. And now I feel so much more trusting. I feel so much more clear. I feel so much more abundant and like not even abundant in just the money way, but just like it also helps me look at my life, at all the abundance that I have outside of the money.
Yeah. I felt insecure, doubtful. I felt a bit creatively blocked and I felt overwhelmed. So yeah, it's kind of wild to have something in your back pocket, quite literally, that you can just open up and kind of open up the possibility that you could be feeling so much better and really manifesting a life that you love.
Yeah.
It's possible.
On the Superhuman app right now, it's really cool. So they actually have the 21-day challenge available. So Lindsey and I did a lot of the activations within the 21-day challenge that we mentioned before, Lucky Girl affirmations, golden energy manifestation as examples, but they have one for each day, which is really cool. So there's actually a challenge feature in the app right now, which is incredible. So many of our listeners are obsessed with the app. So you can do a different type of activation each day, which is really, really cool. As well as you can do the ones that Lindsey and I personally love. So for you guys to get started on your own 21-day challenge that you want to do yourself, or if you want to follow the one in the Superhuman app, or if you just want to get started on rewriting those old stories that you have, you want to move into a life that you love, you want to be that person that you came here to be, you want to activate that future self, highly suggest getting Superhuman. I use it all of the time, like I said. So you can get Superhuman at a discount. You can try it for free too by going to activations.com/almost30. That's activations.com/almost30. That's almost 30. And you can get 14 days free. So you can get almost 2/3 through the 21-day challenge yourself for free. And then you get 60% off. So activations.com/almost30 to get 14 days free for you to download and try it now and then get 60% off. That's activations.com/almost30 for 14 days free and 60% off.
No brainer. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us in our visualizations and manifestations. Share with us if you are digging into the challenge. We would love to know. Tag us on Instagram at Almost 30 Podcast. I'm at Lindsey Simsick and Krista's at It's Krista. We want to hear from you. We want to see what you're manifesting.
Yes, let us know. Let us know. Okay, guys, we'll see you soon. This is so fun. I love you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.